This is the Brian McCarthy interview show. If you're under 18, don't listen. Having said that, the show is really awesome. And if you did listen, no one would really know. But don't listen. Don't listen, kids. Okay? Don't listen.
Niños, escuchen estas palabras mientras que salen de mis labios aprietos. El siguiente programa, aunque esto sea muy divertido para toda la gente, no es para los niños. Como un burro que busca agua fría, un balde, y eso le va a dar toda la satisfacción que necesita, esta agua no es para ustedes. Por favor, vayan donde sus padres. Ayúdelos a limpiar los baños. No vayan a escuchar esto. Es muy importante. Que Dios nos bendiga a los Estados Unidos.
Enfants du monde, détournez les yeux et bouchez-vous les oreilles. Le programme suivant, bien que spectaculaire et divertissant à tous égards, n'est pas pour vous. Veuillez vous détourner et jouer dans les Champs-Élysées ou peut-être dans les catacombes humides de Paris, car devant vous se trouve la ruine. Vous avez été prévenus, s'il vous plaît. N'écoutez pas, et pourtant, sachez que nous faisons tout cela pour vous, car vous êtes l'avenir et vous êtes la lumière. Que Dieu vous bénisse et dit bonjour à votre mère de ma part.
Brian McCarthy interview show. Adam is now drinking his Coke, his disco. Listen to that beat. Breaking it down in Uptown. Take your hand and touch it. Now rub it. Brian McCarthy interview show. Listen to that beat. Touch it. Now rub it. I wish I could still drink. Ooh. Hey, everybody.
Wow. All right.
It is the second show from the top secret insurance department.
The Brian McCarthy Beach House.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I'm calling
it. You've heard of the Hamptons? This is 130 miles west of the Hamptons. That's right, folks. So welcome to the show. If you're listening, it's a podcast, so you're either on Spotify or iTunes or fucking Amazon.
Name all of them.
All of them. Everyone get a pen. Libsyn.
Podcrawler.
Yeah, Podcrawler is a good one.
I just made that.
Yes,
I don't think that's a real one.
If you're an Orthodox Jew, we'll see you Sunday morning. And if you're watching, it's YouTube or maybe even Facebook Live. So you can always do that super chat bullshit and whatever. And then remember, we had the bonus show. And then if you're Patreon, thank you. And if you're a member of the YouTube channel, that's thank you. Just whatever. What do you want to kiss your ass? Thank you. Thank you.
I think you did.
I did. All right. So listen, but today we are very lucky. Sometimes we have a guest and sometimes we don't. And this young man, this just a sweet boy. So
up and comer,
just like Ed Powers.
Yeah, Ed Powers. Or was that Randy West?
No, Ed Powers is
up and comers.
Anyway, let's get him in the. We'll put
I'll
you
look
in
that up, and you guys
it's
talk about.
Definitely Ed Powers.
Curious,
so you know.
Oh, okay, it is.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know which one was Randy West.
Dave is here with us. Hi, Dave.
Hello.
Hi. So, Dave, just to give everyone a little context. So, as everyone knows, I go to the Crunch on 54th Street.
That is correct.
Because I was kicked out of the Equinox.
Oh.
Did you know that part?
I did not.
All right. The audience is going to hate me because they've heard this fucking story a million times. But
just let me the abridged version.
I'm going to burn through what happened at Equinox. Okay. And so I've been a member of Equinox for on and off 25 years. I lived in LA for 4 years. So I was a member in LA and here, blah, 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 blah. But for the past 8 years, I've been going to the sports club, the old Reebok on Columbus Avenue, right? The Equinox Sports Club, right?
Mm-hmm. The old Reebok.
That's how old I am. Everything I say is the thing it used to be 30 years ago.
Apostrophe right. Reebok.
Yeah. You guys remember Rye Playland? That used to be an apple orchard. That's right, folks.
Wait, really?
I don't fucking know. I mean,
we're just saying things.
Wasn't everything an apple orchard at one point? That's kind of like that's my litmus test for anything historical. It was an apple orchard.
Yeah.
They grew potatoes there. So anyway, I was a member of Equinox, right? And as soon as COVID was over, the first day that COVID was back, now I had this trainer who was this white guy with like very long hair, and he was from Jacksonville. And I used to actually not like working out with him because he had really long, thick brown hair, and he used like I don't know, like leave-in conditioner. He smelled like very much like hair products. So every time we worked
like
out,
an Aveda store at the mall.
Exactly like an Aveda store
at
the mall.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And he's from Jacksonville and like super nice guy, but COVID happened, so he had to move back to Jacksonville. He got his girlfriend pregnant, and they moved back to Jacksonville.
Oh, wow.
I work at the LA Fitness in Jacksonville. That's where I work.
I'm doing the drywall up there at the new McDonald's.
Yeah, y'all need any oxys? I got oxys too, Brian.
I sell oxys. Yeah. I sell oxys in Sildenafil.
Yeah.
If you need a boner
yeah, exactly. Right.
It's got you covered.
Right.
We got you covered. Old Jacksonville Bobby.
All my cousins can get you some Sudafeds too if you need the good ones. We scratch off the top. Y'all can make some burner meth with that.
Yeah, make some shake and bake. In the trailer.
Okay. So this guy. So he leaves. So I'm now finally you're allowed to go back to Equinox, right? And this was when, for those of you who remember or not, you had to like make a fucking appointment to go to the gym. You had to be the only. This was literally. It's kind of important, sort of to the story. It's a little important, I think, anyway. It was the first day back, so you basically said, "Okay, I'll be there at 2:00."
Right.
So the sales manager, I called him ahead of time. I was so happy to get back in the gym, because I'm a fitness god, as you can tell. But like it's fun, and plus, I really like that gym. It's beautiful. I mean, it is a beautiful gym. Whatever, you know what I mean? And it's got the fucking sauna, the steam room, and it was a place to go, and that was what that was. And at the time, we were living on 84th Street, right by the park there, so. It was convenient to everything. So I was excited to go back in there. Plus, I don't have any friends. Adam's my only friend, and I have to pay him to be here. So, it's really. We do hang out once in a while, right? We do leap year birthdays.
We hang out, but there
that's
has to be a bare minimum of half a dozen Dominican sex workers.
Okay. Only Dominican?
Oh, yes.
I mean,
okay.
they don't have to be, but it helps.
If you're not Dominican, you have to have 2 cesarean scars.
Or like, or
you're
maybe
fine.
like Uzbekistan. Are you Dominican?
I am
Oh no,
half,
I probably
yeah.
dated Dave's cousins.
I probably bottom half.
Yeah, I dated the bottom.
Yeah, exactly.
So I've been
I thought I
told.
recognized him from the barbecue.
So I get to Equinox, right? And I have to wear a mask. And this is when you go there and they do your forehead temperature, you go upstairs, and it's all like no touch anyway.
Right.
And I don't know if you probably know this, I've alluded to it, but like I have vision issues. Like I don't really know what you look like, right?
Okay.
Like I have an optical nerve disorder, and that's why I'm not able to see really in front of me. And it happened about 9 years ago. And so anyway, so I don't even so when I'm at the gym, by the way, this is the short version. I don't really even know who I'm necessarily talking to a lot of times at the gym, but they're usually the kid behind the counter. It's the counter people, but I'm always like I'm a relatively friendly guy. I'm always like I would bring like a dark chocolate covered espresso beans sometimes because I would go to the Sensuous Bean, which is the coffee place over there. And I would get a coffee beforehand and I'd be like, oh, I'll get the kids in. Anyway, so I come in there. I know now I sound.
Show up with the sports beans.
By the way, I'm trying to sound like I'm not a weirdo telling the story, and I'm just sounding weirder.
Further incriminating yourself.
I bring those Twinks chocolate covered espresso beans.
I think that's great.
Yeah,
It's kind of like you're their grandma giving them hard candy.
Let me feed them to you one at a time.
Yeah, let me bounce you on my knee. I'll give you a Werther's.
Like a baby bird. I put in my mouth.
Yes.
Take it out of daddy's mouth. Cheap. Oh, make you go poopies.
Hey, and I'm sure they appreciate that.
They were nice enough. Like anyway, so I'm there. I see now it's a new trainer. It's big Jamaican guy, super nice guy. Knew him from before, but tangentially, I bought I don't even know. I spent a lot of money buying lots of sessions, right? And I was excited. I go in. I had my hour workout. I leave. About a half an hour later, I'm at Zabar's with my wife. We're shopping fucking Zabar's like we're like 90-year-old Jews, and we're in Zabar's, and I get a phone call. And I asked my wife, because I can't never see who's calling. I said, who is it? She goes, it's Equinox. And I was like, oh, they must be calling to thank me because I'm like a hero, because I'm back here. And I feel like I might have been, and I'm not exaggerating, I might have been the first person back in that Equinox because I had like an 11 a.m. workout.
Yeah.
On the
They're probably
first
calling
day.
to just figure out what to drop off. My own key.
Yeah. My key. Yeah. Or like
my key to Equinox.
Yeah. Or like a varsity jacket. You know, something, some sort of swag.
Yeah, when I should show up for the ribbon cut.
The ribbon cutting.
I was on VH1 14 years ago. I'm kind of a big deal. Kids get impressed by that. Kids remember cable?
Dave knows.
Dave knows. Yeah.
I was around for that.
Yeah, barely. Right.
You
right. You're not my dad.
Aren't you the guy that wants to know what the deal is with the 80s?
Yeah, I was one of those guys.
Yeah, of course.
I love the 80s guys.
I figured.
Yeah,
I figured. That's
and the
usually
70s. Right.
Sure.
But it was the 1880s. I was like, oh, James Garfield. Nope. Okay. So I get a phone call from Equinox. I'm like, hello. Hi, this is Liz, the front desk manager from Equinox. And I just immediately started talking. I went, oh, Liz, that's so great. I'm so happy you guys have opened again. I'm so excited to go and work out. She cuts me off. She's like, no. She goes, I'm calling to let you know we're canceling your membership.
Oh my gosh.
And I said, I'm sorry, I'm confused. Are you kidding? Because I joke. Maybe I know. Again, I may have talked to this woman 100 times. I don't even fucking know who she looks like or who she is or whatever. She goes, no, I'm going to cancel your membership. You've already had to refund it. You've already had your package refunded. Like, you're done here. And I was like, all right, are you kidding or not? She's like, no, I'm not kidding. And I was like, all right. And I go to my wife. I'm like, I'm getting kicked out of Equinox. And my wife was like, why? And I said, I don't know. I'm trying to fucking figure it out. So this woman goes, I finally, after I'll spare you the blah blah the back and forth, but essentially she says to me after some back and forth, she goes, inappropriate like behavior with our staff, with our desk staff, will not be tolerated. And I said, Liz, number one, I joke around a lot, and I don't even know what you're talking about. I said, I always like to make jokes. Sometimes I can be off color, but if I ever make somebody feel less than or made fun of or whatever, that's never my intention. So if I can apologize to somebody or something, I don't really even know. But Liz, I have to be honest with you, I don't even know what you're talking about. I said, Liz, I was wearing a mask the entire time I was there, so I don't even know what's going on. So finally, she says to me, she goes, when you were downstairs getting your temperature taken, she goes, did you say to the team member taking your temperature that you'd rather have your temperature taken the European way? And I said, well, probably. Yeah, that tracks. And she said, he was so upset that I sent him home.
Oh my gosh.
Again, I don't know.
Yeah, Liz, I'm gonna say that's more of like a him problem.
I don't know
Yeah.
what.
Like not to
I'd
even
say.
be, but it's like,
And also,
that seems.
I will also say this: the front desk staff at Equinox, they were always really young and maybe kind of precious. Who knows what? Again,
Yeah.
I'll take it all on me. I will take all of that. And I said, Liz, I'm really sorry. I said, I didn't mean to offend anybody. I didn't mean to make anyone feel like I was being inappropriate. I said, I said, so how long is the ban? She goes, it's forever.
Oh.
And I said, well, what if they open an Equinox like on the dark side of the moon? I said, could I join that Equinox? She goes, no, you're done.
Still no.
Everything's done. Like you're fucking out. Like you're just done. That's it. She goes, and I said, well, who can I talk to? A manager? She's like, I'm the front desk manager. I'm the
What if
ultimate.
Elon Musk opens a space,
Yeah.
a space
What if there's
Equinox?
some sort of Jeff Bezos,
Yeah.
Elon Musk's can
Anything, Liz?
Yeah.
Anything?
Yeah, Liz, Luxembourg.
Amazon
Liz.
Fitness.
Yeah.
International
Amazon Fitness.
waters on a riverboat.
Yeah, right. Some sort of
Liz.
container ship. The guy that goes, I'm the captain now.
Yeah.
Maybe he works me out.
Yes.
Some Somalian
You're
pirate.
throwing all these scenarios. Well, the thing with the take your temperature the European way, it's very old timey. So my thing is like for a Gen Z desk precious like desk person to even know what that meant seems
Exactly.
rare.
Yeah.
And then to also be like as offended by it that you would
Look, emotions were
need-
running high. It was a weird time in America's history.
I
That is
guess
true.
taking into context the
You know, guys, you guys forget we had just had a black president 4 years before, and America was still reeling. Anybody? Anyway, so
Barack Hussein,
Yeah,
El
Hussein.
Baghdadi,
yeah, exactly. That guy, falafel. Just throw
Obama.
that in there.
Obama.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, so then that happened. So I was like, I didn't know what to do. I was just kind of like, all right. So then I sort of like went through my own network of like people that I knew, and I ended up talking to the guy that owns Equinox, the Soul Cycle. He's like a real fucking Trump maniac.
Oh,
I forget the guy's name, but he's the guy that owns Equinox. Anyway, turns out that like I knew somebody who knew his personal assistant. So I talked to her on the phone, and I actually got on the phone. I talked to her for like a half an hour, and I was like, let me tell you what just happened. And I was like, look, all I want to do is be able to go back to the dumb gym. Like if I need to like agree to never talk to anybody or whatever, fine. She was like, I'll take care of this. Don't worry. She calls me back. It was like Invasion of the Body Snatchers. She's like, nope, I can't do anything.
Can't
Like,
do
you're-
it. Ran it up.
gosh.
I
you're-
ran it up.
yeah.
The
She's like,
Boy,
you're fucking,
actually.
yeah, you're done, ski buddy.
wow.
So that was it. So then I joined, and then here I'll wrap it up right now. So then I go to another place, whatever, this private training gym. It was fine. And then we moved to the east side like 6 months later. So we're in the current apartment that we're sort of in now, and I get an email from the Equinox right over here on 2nd Avenue, and they're like, hey, we noticed you used to be a member of Equinox, and we wanted to know if you would be interested in getting a membership back. So I called them, and I was like, hey, and since then I've been red carded because I found out from my friend's son who works at an Equinox.
Red card.
Yeah, he looked me up in the computer and he goes, you got red carded. I said, what does that mean? He's like, did you like sexually assault somebody or something? I was like, no, not there anyway. And I said, no. And he goes, well, that's what red carding is. He's
House
like, it's-
cancel, right?
yes,
That was
house
what-
cancel.
'cause I'm
We
like
called.
red cancel.
Yes, it was
red
house cancel.
card.
Sorry, red
Like
card.
you were
yes.
a commie or something.
It was
the red scare.
Yes, it was a house cancel, which basically
Got
means
you.
like I'm on the
Because I
island.
asked a girl, I met a girl that worked there, and I asked her, I was like, "Do you know what that means?" She was like, "Oh yeah,
Yeah, she's like, he's
Yeah.
fucking the island of misfit toys. Like,
You're
know,
a water pistol that
yeah.
shoots jelly.
Yeah, you know Cain and Abel. You're Cain. You're
Cain.
wandering.
Wow.
You're a Charlie in the
yeah.
box.
You can work out of an old Lucille Roberts that's abandoned. And
You can go to Curves.
Yeah,
Curves.
Lucio
Curves.
Roberts.
Yeah. I met my first wife.
Maybe Planet Fitness.
Maybe Planet
Maybe,
Fitness,
maybe,
right.
maybe.
Right.
Only when it's closed.
So I go and I actually go to the gym. I go to Equinox and I meet the person there and I give them my ID and I go, listen, I'm interested in joining again for sure. I said, but you have to understand, like, as far to my knowledge, I am persona
I'm a bad
non
boy.
grata for this whole for all of them, even the fucking one in that hotel in London. I can't go to that one. Whatever, blunt. I'm done. And she was like, pop, 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 pop. She said, no, it's fine. I said, all right, let's do it. Sign it up. Blah blah blah. So some trainer. I go meet the guy, big white guy from Long Island, big mook. He was like, "Yo, he's like, what do you was
kind of like the
Winstrol?
Jacksonville of.
Yeah,
Jacksonville
kind
guy.
of
I don't know
like-
if that was
yeah.
an off-air
He was
conversation when we
also-
talked about Jacksonville.
No, he was also very aromatic. He had like really like cologne on. I'm very
I like
like,
trainers sometimes.
I think with
maybe.
all the cocaine I've done, I wouldn't be able to smell
Yeah.
people as much as I can, but I can. And so anyway, I meet the guy, and then we make our first appointment to like come back in a couple of days. And I get an email from Equinox, and they were like, "Hey, like you know better. You have been kicked out."
You know.
I was like, "You motherfucker!" So I actually called. I
Tisk,
got-
subject line, tisk, tisk.
Yeah, I was like, I'm mortified. Like, you guys, I told you I was. So anyway, so
They
then
baited you.
yes,
Yes.
I was baited and switched it and baited again.
Fuck.
So I showed up at the Equinox in 54th Street. Actually, I started off the one up here,
Okay.
worked out, blah blah, and now I'm at 54th Street. So I have been there, and the people that listen know that if we're in terms of the New York history, it shares a wall with Studio 54. Did you know that? Yeah, it's like
Oh, the
literally.
crunch?
Our
Yeah,
crunch?
yeah.
Yes.
It's like right next door to the old Studio 54.
Nice. You can
Yes.
hear the
Yeah.
ghost of
I gave Truman Capote a hand
James
job
Caan
there.
on
in
roller
19
skates.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
yeah.
Truman. I took Truman Capote as a lover.
Yeah, exactly. Right. I felt a Quaalude out of Halston's asshole. Right.
Yes.
Exactly. So
Right.
anyway,
Got a shoulder bag ride from Grace Jones.
Grace
yeah,
Jones.
ex-
Yes.
yeah, and I love
Probably
Roll
David
back.
Bowie here and
yeah,
there.
roll back to the bumper, baby. So anyway, but I really like the gym. It's it's fine, it's good. It is very gay. Although I feel like it's gotten a lot less gay, weirdly.
I would agree with that. I've been a member since 2016.
Okay.
Before being hired there.
Oh, and tell everybody you're a trainer there.
Yes,
Okay.
I am a personal trainer
Okay.
at the 54th gym at Crunch. And yeah, I've been there for almost 10 years. Like,
Jeez.
just
Wow.
member and trainer
Decade.
But when
Yeah.
you started, was it much gayer?
entirely.
Yes.
Well, you were there probably when the steam room was open. Brian always talks about how the steam room.
Oh, well.
But I heard that that's like an all city. I was talking to one of my friends that frequented many steam rooms,
Yeah.
and he was like, "Yeah, that's kind
Wait,
of like
by the way, did you
citywide."
Did you meet this friend in the mirror?
Yeah. Yes.
So
there's a
go ahead.
story behind that.
please
steam
tell
room.
us the
Please.
steam room story. That's
The
why you're
exciting-
here.
Yes. So I was
Incident.
there.
Let me
I
unzip.
was in. Well, there is an aspect. There is.
Ass?
Oh, I'm
yes,
sure.
There's
I'm
a
sure
lot
there
of
is.
that.
I'm
Okay,
sure
so
there is.
You have the
So-
floor.
So there was a former porn actor that used to frequent,
Okay.
and right when OnlyFans was starting to kick off,
Just for the audience,
Yes.
gay porn actor.
correct,
Okay.
correct,
Not
Gay
Ron
porn-
Jeremy.
No, no,
Okay.
no.
Okay.
Not
Is he still
Cold
with us?
Steel.
Okay.
Is Ron Jeremy still with us?
He's in jail.
Yeah.
Oh,
and-
shit.
And he has
Yes. he
horrible dementia. too.
Finally,
He only
it all caught up to him.
Yeah, he only remembers the rapes.
Yes.
Everything else he's forgotten.
Yikes.
Yeah, it's fair. He's another Queens boy.
Oh,
didn't know
that's
that.
right. I
Yep.
think I did know that.
I did not know
It's
that.
probably from like Forest Hills
He
or
is,
something.
yeah,
or
like
like
those fancy
Rego
Jews.
Park or-
Yeah, exactly.
well, like a place where there's lots of Jewish people.
yeah,
I'm just
this is
thinking.
back in 1950 too.
Yeah.
Anyway, so steam
Yes.
rooms, just to bring everyone up to speed, the steam room that when I showed up there, not only is it closed, it has like a padlock on it,
Yes.
and it has like a sign that says like, work will set you free. Like,
It's
on
like-
it's like this. It is completely shut down.
Oh yeah, steel
crime- it's been a
door,
crime
Yeah.
steel
scene.
door, and everything.
Yes, there's a
Yes.
three-headed dog, Cerebus, in front of it.
Waiting right
waiting in
inside.
front of it,
Yep.
right? Growling lava spit pouring out of its fanged mouth. So go ahead. Sorry. So what do you got?
Yes. So porn actor was filming up there
Oh,
in there, and I just remember
When you say up there, do you mean in the locker room or actually in the steam
in
room?
the steam room.
Wow, what kind of camera does he have? Write it down. That's a good one.
Well, okay, so
Next
he-
show.
Send us a link.
He was actually just recently found guilty of distributing child pornography.
Yikes.
Yeah,
so-
he was one of those guys.
That's
Oh.
too bad.
Like, you know, and
How young though? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
And were they begging for it?
Yeah, yeah.
well, that's the thing. Like when you like just looking at his history of like filming, like even for OnlyFans, not even like studio work.
Yeah.
Like it was just typically always the younger twinks.
Younger.
Sure.
Well, okay.
The younger twinks that looked like they were prepubescent.
Yes.
And
So what was he filming up there? Like, what was the sex act?
he was probably getting his dick sucked
Okay,
and
all
stuff
right.
like that.
Standard.
Standard, yeah, you know,
Yeah.
standard steam room scene.
Yeah.
Where and yeah, ultimately I just remember the signs being put up.
But so was he caught in the middle of was it that the thing that happened? Was it during it or was it after the fact? Somebody was like, "Hey, you know the fucking guy with all
Right.
the lollipops was up there."
And who yelled cut is what I want to know.
Let him finish.
Well, so I do believe that
Go ahead.
that he got caught probably mid-act, but
Oh.
or it
Mm.
had to be a member.
He's like, let me finish.
No, it had to be a member because I just remember seeing those signs like inappropriate activity will not be tolerated.
Holy
Like,
shit.
yeah, it was like do that shit at home.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Wow.
wait, who's doing things here? Like,
Oh,
why?
You're adorable.
I was.
You were
Yeah.
just a
So
boy.
naive.
How long ago was this? Got to be
This was
4 or
when
5.
when I signed up, 2016.
Wow.
So
Okay.
it was only open for a very short time when I signed up, and then that was it.
Oh, so you were there during the shift.
Yes, because it was
Interesting.
open, then it closed.
Yeah.
Then they'd say, okay, we're closing it for a week until y'all get it together, and then we're gonna open it back up. Behave yourselves. That was basically what the sign said.
You're like a 9/11 firefighter who waited in one of the trucks. You didn't have to go up. You didn't go up.
Oh,
you,
no.
you were on the ground floor.
No.
You're like, "Hey, this feels like a bad idea, everybody." So that steam room, the one that's been closed down, has been closed down for almost 10 years.
Almost 10 years.
Crazy.
Yes.
Because I hear once in a while them talking about reopening it. And now here's the thing: I joke around, but I am straight. I mean, it bums everybody out, I know, but I do feel like it. You know, look, as you know, and as many of our audience knows, there are many places in New York City where if you want to get your dick sucked in the steam room, you knock yourself out.
Yeah.
I mean, there are bathhouses upon bathhouses, and there's all sorts of things. So to take a public area and sexualize it, it kind of does weirdly ruin it for everybody.
Absolutely.
So I do feel like it's a number one. It's a hard thing, no pun intended. But like, I get it. I get the excitement of it, but it also you sexualizing it. You sort of ruin it for everybody.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. So
And at least don't set up a tripod. When you're gonna do like
exactly.
I feel like if you want to maybe
Like
do
just
a quick
get off
little,
and
a quick little
Get
'cause
off
it's
and
gonna
go.
be a brief encounter. I'm guessing,
I would
right?
hope.
if I see a craft services table like Al
Yes.
and a
Is there full
PA,
catering
Yeah.
and
Can I-
lighting rig.
yeah, can I have a kind bar? Is that okay? I'm not union. Am I allowed
Yeah,
to?
the intern's doing a juice run. You guys need anything?
Excuse me. Don't refer to me as an extra. I'm a background artist.
Right.
Okay. For this gay porn
Reading
solo
it, yeah.
solo fisting
Doing
scene.
a crossword while
Now,
a
but
twink's getting fisted.
here's the thing. Let's take this to an extra inning here
All
because
right.
Derek, that's right, Derek. Derek has told me that there are certain spots, even on the floor of the gym, where there have been shenanigans. There are certain corners of that gym. So, right?
I have yes.
Go ahead.
Probably that
So-
machine where you can kind of like
People use that wrong
like
to make
the-
their
yeah.
ass.
it's like for your
Abductor.
abductor.
Yes.
Yeah, it's probably. I bet that one.
Well, that's actually like out in the open.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. So
He
you can.
means-
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
So there is,
Gotcha.
and Brian, you would know this.
Yes.
So like, let me see.
Oh.
So where the cables are,
Yeah.
there's like that little
Yes.
nook.
Yep.
So there was, I don't even know if there were a couple, but they were definitely doing things
Yeah,
together. Like, I wouldn't even say working out. They were working on some like acrobatic stuff.
Sure.
Okay.
And I just remember catching them making out in that nook. And I'm like, okay, like,
Boys.
Yeah.
not here.
You shoot them with like
Yeah.
a squirt bottle.
Yeah, like a
Whack them
cat
with, whack 'em with the
like
newspaper.
a cat-
These
cat with-
gays.
Yeah.
These gays won't learn.
Well, actually, it was straight couple. Or
oh,
couple,
it was
quote
it
unquote.
was a hetero
It was-
act. Oh, that's
it was-
disgusting.
Yeah.
Ew.
I was like, how dare you?
Right.
No, That is even more. Did they have to like bleach the area or anything, or get that
Right?
snatch stench out of there?
Yeah,
like
probably gave the whole
like,
place a yeast infection.
God, oh, God. Breeders.
Breeders
Yeah.
breeding. Well,
Put up emergency tape,
Yeah.
So anyway, so did somebody say something or?
So I was already over it. Our operations manager was working out not far from there. He was using another piece of equipment
Sure.
nearby. I was like, hey, so what is our policy on like making out? Not even
Yeah.
kissing. Just
He goes, "Come here, I'll tell you."
This was this was like a passionate,
They were like, yeah, and like
passionate
hands
groping.
yes,
Yeah.
hands on the butt,
Okay,
everything. Like
all
it
right.
was a makeout scene.
Okay.
Oh God.
Ugh.
And this is kind of in a little nook,
It's in
area.
a little nook, but like
Okay,
you can
not
still
out in the middle.
see it.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah.
You're tucked away, but you're not like tucked
I could still
away.
see it and
Yeah.
feverishly masturbate.
It's not like yeah. It's not like Narnia.
Yeah,
Throw
where
these
you just
coats
gone.
and everything. Right? No,
Uh-huh.
it's definitely
I'm
there.
like jerking it on an elliptical.
Yeah, with Mr. Timness.
Watching.
Yeah, exactly. So you went to the operations guy and you said, "What's the policy here?"
Yeah, I was like, because over there, X and Y and Z is
Mhm.
happening. So he just went over to speak to them, and
Yeah.
they stopped.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like, luckily there was no pushback, no resistance, or I mean, because what are they going to say?
Yeah.
Like, what? What do you mean I can't make out here?
Excuse me. Let me.
Sure.
I can't finger my girlfriend in the middle of the gym. Excuse me.
Or I can't finger my boyfriend.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
I didn't realize this was Nazi
It's a
Germany.
slippery slope. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, but since then, it's interesting because there are a fair amount of gay influencers that work
Mhm.
out at the gym.
Yes.
There are a fair amount of male escorts
Yes.
that work out at the gym.
Oh,
I
And
know a few.
yes,
really?
Oh, yeah,
Little
yeah.
rent boys.
and also there's just like because also the way that look, a lot of people, we have an international audience, but a lot of people that the gym is sort of right on top of the theater district.
Yes.
So you have a lot of dancers and Broadway and blah blah blah.
Oh, right,
Oh,
right,
yes.
right.
And then Hell's Kitchen, which up until about maybe 15 years ago wasn't as gay. That is sort of I'm wearing my shirt here, but like it's Hell's Kitchen's a very gay neighborhood now.
Yes.
So Hell's Kitchen is that neighborhood just a little farther west of it, and there's like I don't know, and then but there is a gym which would make Crunch look like a Jack LaLanne in 1978, which is the Temple Gym.
Temple. Yes.
Now that's full on. That's
Oh,
that's double gay.
they are set up for gay.
super secret.
They're
Yeah.
set up for gay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like down to the lighting, everything.
Yeah.
Like they made sure to sex that shit up
Temple.
sexy.
They
And
really-
this is in Manhattan.
Yes.
Because there's a place I want to say called Temple that's like in Brooklyn. That's
There-
like some kind of a sex thing.
There are a few locations. They were owned by David Barton, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Mhm.
look,
Wow.
I've been
I'm
saying
doing
for a while. Yeah. It's really nice.
Yeah.
But I've been saying like this man should stop trying to own gyms because they all fail.
Oh, really?
Oh, he hasn't had a successful one yet. Like only by name.
I don't know how he is so because I know he's married to Suzanne Barsh.
Correct.
But married. I mean, and by the way, have you I know we're really gonna be bitchy here, but like, have you seen him recently anyway? He's had so
haven't.
much work done. He looks fucking freaky. He's
Oh,
about
no.
65 years old,
Okay.
and he looks. It's not. He's got a lot of collagen, or I don't know
Oof.
what. He's got something going on. Like
Yeah,
he's
I'm
and
sure.
and now. So the Temple Gym, which by the way, I know you say it's gay, but I do like a place that has poppers by the elliptical machine. I think that's a nice touch.
little popper
Little,
stand.
yeah, little amyl nitrate by the GHB in the water supply. Just
Wow.
for,
Yeah, I'm looking at pictures of that guy. He is.
Yeah, he
He's a
looks-
little pick me up.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
yeah, he's
He looks like a cross between a Civil War reenactor and a Guitar Center employee.
yeah,
Like
he's-
at like the tech desk at Guitar Center. He's
Yep.
got like this crazy weird band hair.
but people go to. I mean, Temple's a very popular gym,
Absolutely.
and the other one because I know Derek and I were looking. It used to be David Barton. It's on 14th Street. Now it's called like Us.
Oh, I didn't know about that
Oh,
one.
it's the one on these. It used to be a bank. It's the southwest corner, and it was David Barton, and now
Okay.
it's called I believe it is called Us, and that gym is funny because I was like looking at the trainers, and it is like looking at like a gay escort website.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know. I like to know the training from the trainer, but it also says that they're versatile. I'm like,
Right.
oh well, that's something. That's
Yeah.
good.
At least you know that.
Yes.
Power bottom. I'm not sure
Yeah.
what that
No,
means.
I always
they do
hate
both.
Yeah, I hate having to ask my trainer if they're circumcised or not.
I
But
know.
luckily, it's in
good
their
to just have it right.
yeah,
in the,
it's
right
in their
the
bio.
Mhm.
Yeah. Now, okay.
Cut or uncut?
Yeah.
Right.
So are you single?
I am.
Okay. Have you been single for a long time?
I think 2 years is a long time, right?
Well,
Is that like
yeah.
long and single time?
Not for gay people. I
Not
don't
for
know.
gay. Yeah, I feel like there's another. We were talking about gay. What were we? Straight, skinny, gay, fat.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're straight, skinny, but we're gay, fat.
Right.
But like straight, because there's like gay monogamy, which
Yeah.
is like
Which is like
very rare.
yeah.
right.
And
very
also,
rare.
let's be honest. Gay monogamy is you're
Well,
both
no,
allowed
we're-
to have sex with other people.
Yeah, no,
Like,
we mean like gay monogamy, like you can fuck other people but only when you're out of town
yeah.
or something. You know,
I've
like
actually,
gay monogamy.
yeah,
Right?
I've spoken to guys like
Yes.
that. And I'm like, girl, why are you even on this app?
Yeah. No,
It's-
because I feel like I know guys that are like married and I'm like, well, yeah, but we get blowjobs from
Yeah.
other people. Like
Which-
when I travel to Cincinnati on business.
Which, by the way, it's kind of awesome. I don't know.
Oh, it's
like
amazing.
in a weird way. Like it's there's a real to think that like two men can really love each other and have this
Yes.
emotional connection. And then also
Right.
just be like, hey, shit happens.
Right.
You know,
You
like,
can, you can pick out a backsplash and then like
yes.
commit adultery and
Yeah.
it's beautiful.
Yes.
And I think that works for everyone because like I wasn't always here for that, right?
Okay.
But like I think
Back up. When you say here for that, what do
for the gay monogamy.
okay, I understand. Okay.
How we're
Or-
we're defining it,
Yes.
Well, exactly how we're
Not-
defining
which
it.
is not literal monogamy.
Exactly,
It's,
for those
it's
of-
monogamy light.
exactly
Right.
like you know,
Express.
you're together, but you play with others.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like Euro Disney.
Exactly. So like
Disney.
it took a while for me to get into that mode of thinking, right? Because I grew up Catholic, and so it was always like you get married and that's it. You're with that
Mhm.
person for life.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I think it took me being out in the world and not surrounded by Christianity, Catholicism, to then understand that, you know what? One person cannot satisfy every single one of my needs.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Because if they did, I
Right.
don't think that'd be possible.
Yeah.
Like as long as you're fulfilling the important stuff, like the
Mhm.
emotional and
Yes.
Yeah.
some of the sexual.
Right.
Yeah.
I also do feel like relationships are subjective. What works for some couple might work for them. What works for somebody else doesn't work for them. So to apply, like I grew up Catholic, and I think you didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Good Catholic boys.
Yeah, Lamb of God, you take away the sins of the world. But anyway, that's weird. My nipples are hard. I don't know why.
Yeah, why am I
Exactly.
hard as a rock?
Right, exactly. But it's the kind of thing where it's like some people are in a relationship and they're fine with having whatever they have.
Yeah.
But once you take like an organization and go, this is how the Catholics say you should do it.
Mhm.
That's where the cracks kind of show up in the concrete. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So individuals. But so I think when you take two guys, although and let's be honest, is there anything more boring than a gay couple who are like, we've been together since 1973?
Oh,
And
completely.
when
You
they're-
know,
yeah.
you know what I think I'm realizing is that men, some, not all men, but we're able, I think, to compartmentalize more.
Mm.
And I think when it's two men, that way you can go like, yeah, I fuck somebody, but it doesn't affect us.
Yes.
Like it's hard to explain that to a woman.
Oh yes,
A lot of the time, not all of them, but
Yes.
some of them.
especially if she's throwing your clothes out the window of your apartment.
or
Right.
like ready to burn
Yes.
your shit.
Yeah. Exactly. And then and then also like because we talk about like like lesbians, like I'm 52, and so lesbians that are my age, they tend to be more they're like they're more traditional like lesbian, like Joe, what does a lesbian bring in their second date? A U-Haul.
Yeah.
Like that kind of stuff. But now, like I now know lesbians that are in their 20s or early 30s, whatever it is, and like they're out there mixing it up. It's a little they're a little more fun,
That
I mean,
one's new to me.
Yeah.
yes, that is
Okay.
definitely
Well, they say like statistically, lesbians have the least amount of sex. Like of all the configurations, straight
Really?
couples, gay couples, lesbians are at the very fucking bottom, which
Really?
is kind of interesting, right? You wouldn't think that.
Huh.
I don't know. Well, let's be honest. How many lesbian couples have you seen where you've been like, oh, those two can't keep their hands off each other?
Right,
I mean,
right.
I'll tell you a quick, funny, stupid thing. So when I lived in Brooklyn for 10 years. I lived in Park Slope. And when my wife and I were looking to move from the Upper West Side out there, we were looking at, we were buying something. And at the time it was either like a 2-bedroom in Park Slope or like a row house or a brownstone, but out like in like Windsor Terrace or Kensington or like a little farther out, right? So this one house that we looked at, it was really cute. And it was a brownstone, but it was out there. It was like past fucking, out past that big cemetery, the one I keep, now I'm forgetting the name of it, but Greenwood Cemetery. Out past the Greenwood Cemetery. So pretty far out there. So what was weird about it was for sale by owner, which is always weird because if the owner shows up, the owner's like, do you like my rugs? You're like,
so there's no like realtor involved.
Well, we had a realtor on our side. So we had a realtor.
But the person that shows it to you is the owner?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Because they're saving, whatever, 50, 70 grand or whatever.
It is nice because they maybe have all the information. Because sometimes you'll ask a realtor and they're like, I don't know, I'll find out.
Yeah, but even the people that own it, I mean, listen, they're a little
know.
biased too. You know what I mean?
They
Like,
sell it.
Yeah.
Well, and it's got like sentimental value.
You're much better off having an intermediary to buffer the transaction. But anyway, so we show up and this woman opens the door and God bless her, but she had on like pleated acid wash jeans and like a twisted leather rope belt and like a tucked in flannel shirt. And her girlfriend looked exactly like her. And the two of them show up and they were like, hi. And I was like, hi, ladies. Oh, yeah. And we're looking around. And now a lot of these older brownstones, they have 2 kitchens. They have a summer kitchen in the basement for when it's hot, because back then there was no air conditioning.
Yeah.
And then they have the regular one. So we're looking around. They're showing us around. And this is our 2-legged dog. This is our, this kind of thing. And they always have like 2-legged dogs, right? And
of course.
And then they take me downstairs, and they have the summer kitchen. And I'm looking around, and I made a joke, and I went, let me guess, do you guys make candles? And they went, yeah, for Lilith Fair.
Lilith Fair.
So they were like the most archetypical leprechauns. They were
leprechaun lesbians.
Leprechaun lesbian.
Greenish hue to them.
Would you like a mustache ride?
Oh, that would be fucking great.
Michelle
I would love a lesbian leprechaun.
Right
if
up
only.
here. Well, let me lick your pussy. But anyway, so I just thought that was really, really funny. So now, if I may, have you ever hooked up with somebody at the gym and then had to see them afterwards?
Wait.
Okay, better question is this. Have you met someone at the gym and then date or whatever, and then, see them afterwards? And because you seem to be a little, I don't know you at all, but like a little more conservative. You're not out there like,
oh no.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I'm not.
Right.
You seem like a good boy.
Yeah. Sweet boy.
thanks.
Yeah.
Seems like a sweet boy.
But also you have your needs,
Of course,
So
of
yeah.
course.
So have you ever hooked up with somebody at the gym?
So let me see. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So I actually dated a member.
Max?
He wishes.
Yeah, he sure does. Trust me.
Oh, so does Max have the hots? For
No,
dating?
he's very
straight.
nice. He's a
Okay.
nice guy.
Wow.
He's a sweet guy.
Like,
yeah,
getting into
actually-
some
I wish he was
gym
louder.
gossip.
You can hear him right now. Yep, exactly. So anyway, so go ahead.
Yes, I have. Yes. So we dated for about 6 months.
Okay.
And I haven't seen him recently, but yeah, we would still like say hi and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah. And I believe I've run into other guys that I've hooked up with in the past as well.
Right.
And yeah, we just go about our business. We say hi, and yeah.
Yeah. Now, in terms of that's another thing too with gay guys is like you can sort of hook up and then you run into somebody a week or two later and you're kind of like, oh, okay, hey, whatever, like that.
It is what it is.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Nobody's like,
We move on fast.
yeah, and I feel like it's weirdly less kind of bitchy than when with women. It's kind of like, oh, he's with
Yeah.
He's with another girl and he's sticking it to me when it's like he hasn't thought about you. Like he didn't put any thought into
She'll
this.
analyze your whole life before you even tell her anything.
Like I'm better. What does she have that I don't have? It's like, come on.
Although when I was 21, which is 94, I worked at a gym called Biodesign.
Okay.
And I was a trainer, wasn't A certified. I was a Nautilus certified, which isn't really, that's kind of like the
What
learning.
does that mean?
Like, well, it means that I had to mail away.
Nautical.
Yeah, no, it was it was a 2-3 hour classes because the place had a circuit of Nautilus machines. So it's basically trained you how you were certified on the Nautilus machine. So
what is it? I'll just
Nautilus,
look it up.
come on, like a circuit thing, like it's like all the machines that hit every part of the body.
Oh,
so
okay, I didn't know what it was called.
The idea is you go in and it's in an hour, you get like a total workout, right?
Okay,
essentially,
gotcha.
Anyway, so I worked at this gym, but I was 21, and I was at the time. I want to talk with you about this, but like I used to work in nightclubs.
Okay.
So at the time I was working in nightclubs and just doing an insane amount of drugs. And I would literally I would have clients. I had an ad in the New York Press and it said, "Let's get fit with no bullshit." And I had a star for the eye or something like that. And it was funny too, because the owner of the gym was a friend of mine and he didn't make me give him any money to bring clients in. I just had to work a little bit at the gym, kind of like work it off a little bit, like 8-10 hours a week. And so I would charge $40 a session. What did I care? And so because I didn't have to give anybody money. And this was fucking 30 years ago. So who cares? But the reason why I mention it is because I was the worst, because there would be female members and I would sell them memberships or sometimes they would just be working out, whatever, and I would just hit on them shamelessly. And then I would hook up with them and then either give them terrible sex or kick them out and do drugs with them all night long and talk to them or whatever. And then I would be mortified and I wouldn't want to be anywhere near them. Oh yeah, it was big. At one point, there would be these poor girls. They would join the gym and they just couldn't come to the gym anymore because I'm there.
You
and
prematurely ejaculated. This Wednesday before. Did you ever give anybody just adequate sex?
Oh yeah. Sometimes.
Okay.
I told Derek the story. There's this one time, and I don't mean to. Please don't jump over here, but I have a pretty big penis for a white person.
Okay.
For a Filipino,
white
it's
guy
huge.
thick.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
White guy girth.
And the audience loves when I talk about this. But when I worked at the gym, there was this, because what people, and it's less now than it was then, but gyms are weird public spaces because people are trying to improve their body.
Yes.
They're in various stages of undress. There can be an undercurrent of sexuality, whether or not you want to address it or not.
Absolutely.
Or there's just a lot going on. You know what I mean? A lot of hormones, testosterone, pheromones, blah blah blah. So there was this girl that worked out there, and she was dating this member, this guy Tyler. And I remember I'd always told Tyler how big my dick was because I was an idiot. Plus, at the time, I weighed 150 pounds, so it looked bigger. And you could see all four.
Plus, if you trim around it, that makes it look
trimming
bigger,
is
right?
important. Yeah.
This was 94. There's no trimming.
There was no trimming.
No? Okay.
No. I look like
grooming.
I look like Bob Marley with a big nose. Just ropey dreadlocks, with little poop clusters in my, I didn't know how to wipe. I wasn't a wiper. I didn't grow up with a dad. Okay. Nobody taught me how to wipe.
That's the thing. They teach you to shave and to wipe.
Happy Pride.
Any fatherless boys out there.
You said the shave. I recently posted about that. So on a daily on my Instagram, I try to post what I call diamond tips.
Sure.
Got you.
And so one of them, my Father's Day edition, was fathers, teach your children, not even sons, because if they're trans or whatever the case.
Sure.
So I'm just show your children how to shave, because it is so odd to leave them to grow into the world and then have to ask other children their age or their peers,
or a guy at a bus station,
or some rando in the street, hey,
waiting by the escalator.
Can you show me how to shave?
Right.
It's
you
just
odd. You just have a Gillette Mach 3 and you're waiting at a bus stop. Are you my daddy? Do I go down or up? I don't want bumps like black guys.
Yeah, I don't think I ever learned how to shave from my dad either. But I also never do a close shave, so I didn't need to.
So let's come back to that for 1 second. So I'm at the gym, and this guy Tyler comes up to me with his then girlfriend, who is this and I mean this in the most affectionate way. She was just a gym rat, very cute girl, and she comes up and Tyler's like, "Hey, I told her that you have a big dick." And she was like, "Can I see it?"
Oh,
And I
Wait,
was,
this is to his girlfriend?
yeah.
It was
Wow.
like, just so you know, Brian's like, wow.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
she wants to
We
see
had all.
it.
It was this place was a wild place.
It
ended up-
sounds like
yeah.
fucking
it. Okay,
Xanadu.
you ever seen the movie Poltergeist?
Yes.
Okay, remember the very end of the movie,
Xanadu.
the house just collapses in on
Yes.
itself. That's what happened to biodesign. Ultimately, there were so many drugs and sex and everything. At one time, we had a full-on crackhead who was just passing out flyers, and he was just smoking crack like in front of this gym, and then he would pass out flyers.
Wow.
It was wild. And anyway, so the girl's like, "Can I see it?" And I was kind of like, "All right."
All right.
So we have a supply closet, and the gym's pretty busy.
Yeah.
It was a little gym. It's now the People's Improv Theater. It's the Pit.
Oh, the pit.
Yeah, it's the Pit. The Pit was
Interesting.
biodesign.
All right. Wow.
Yeah.
So I've been in
You've been
that.
there. You've been there.
very-
Oh, if those
I
walls
had
could
no
talk.
idea.
Yeah. So I go in.
Deviant
So I
stuff
go-
that happened there.
So like I go into this, like literally there's a member like doing the Nautilus circuit. I was trained on it. I said, "Oh, look at you. That's good. Lift with your legs. Blow your mouth out it with air. You know, things like that.
Yeah.
Trainer
Lift
talk.
with your legs.
Lift with your legs.
Not with your
cueing,
back.
yeah.
Yeah.
for
Yeah,
sure.
watch out for that lactic acid. And so anyway, so there's like a training, there's like a little supply, closet, and I open up, we go in there together, and she just starts like blah 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 blah, and I just like get hard, I put my tongue out, she's like jerking me out, and like it's just, and then like I finish, as one would,
Yeah.
and
In
then
the
like
mop bucket.
I like open the door and I come out. It was like so obvious to every single person in that gym that I was doing it, like in front of. It was like if you were flying in like a Southwest and you're in Group 3 and you want to be the Mile High Club
Right.
and you waited in line while you were making out.
But you were also still just on the tarmac.
yeah, it's still on the exactly.
Like you hadn't
Right.
taken off yet.
I'm like asking for peanuts as we're going. I'm like, can I?
Give me more Fiesta mix.
Yeah, I want to gate check this load. Oh yeah,
I just,
fuck yeah.
I just really cranked one out.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
am starving.
So when you so back to your dad, like I do not have a relationship with my father. We've not spoken since I was 21, which is fine. It's better that way. You don't have a relationship with your dad, right?
Not anymore. No.
Right. So do you have lots of brothers and sisters?
I'm actually an only child.
You're an only
I'm an
child.
only child.
Okay.
And you said you're half Dominican and then half what?
Puerto Rican.
Oh wow.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yes.
Maria Soñando. Okay.
Oh, my fave.
Oh, so good. Puts it right on you though, doesn't
Oh, yes, it does.
it? I know. For those of you who don't know, that is huega de naranja con leche condensed milk,
Condensada,
right?
Yep.
Yep. And
Ah.
yes, and I love the name Morir Soñando, which I believe loosely translated is dying dream or
Yep.
waking dream.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yes. So
So
It's
die
a-
dreaming.
die dreaming. Yeah.
Okay.
Which
I
is-
love how people always talk about how much of a rivalry there is between Dominicans and Puerto Ricans.
Oof.
But I know so many Dominican Puerto Rican people that I'm like, it can't be that bad.
We are oddly common.
Well, of course. Yeah. It's like neighbors or, ish.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I guess that would be Haiti and Dominican, but,
Well, yeah, because we're sharing the island.
but that's a different kind of rivalry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Have
oh,
you
rooted in,
yeah,
rooted
that's-
in colorism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what's wild? I've been to the DR a bunch of times,
Mm.
and when you fly over it, when you fly over Haiti, the entire island is deforested.
Yeah.
It's all farms, and then
Yeah.
you get to the DR, and it's this
Mhm.
beautiful, lush green.
Really?
It looks like, remember that old that old commercial for shampoo. It's like, well, this
Mhm.
side's tingling, this side's not. Like one side of the DR island is
Is
like
Head and
this
Shoulders.
It's very
beautiful
true.
green, and then you fly over the
Oh.
Haitian part, and it's all little farms. I mean,
Almost-
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And nearly barren.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing is that's also the one of the major conflicts between the two is that the Haitians were pushed out because we all shared the land at some
Mhm.
point.
right.
But again, because of the colorism,
Yep.
they were pushed out to the barren side of the island while we kept the very fruitful and
Yeah. Lush.
fertile
Yep.
Sure.
side of it.
Right.
So it was a tough one.
Yeah, no, it's really disgusting what's happened to Haiti. Did you know that the Haitian government still has to pay the French government reparations every year?
What?
Because
Wait.
there was a slave
Really?
revolt. Yeah, the Haitian they had the
okay.
slave revolt in 1799.
Gotcha. Yes.
And
yes.
but when basically the French basically said, okay, listen, we're going to let you be free. The French were like giving up slavery anyway, but they said, but you have to agree to pay us X
Yeah.
amount every
So
year.
it's a subscription-based model.
That's
Subscription based freedom.
Right.
Freedom.
So if you think it's like
Yikes.
Hulu with no ads, so it's unfortunate. Yeah. So I think it's
Hulu with sunshine.
yeah. So I think it's disgusting
my
what's
God.
happening in Haiti. But have you ever heard of in Puerto Rico? Have you heard of Crash Boat Beach?
I know nothing. So
Okay, here
Puerto
we
Rican
go.
is my dad's side. So
Ah.
I actually recently had this thought. Like I realized that I have taken in zero Puerto Rican culture.
Mm.
So like I essentially would say that I am more
Yeah, you're
Dominican because
more
that's what I grew up with.
right exposure.
Dominican Spanish. Not that I speak Spanish.
Mhm.
It is so fast. I don't know how any other
Mhm.
countries will say like there's Spanish and there's Dominican because Dominican Spanish is so fucking fast. And you know what's wild too is for my 50th birthday, I went to Santo Domingo with some friends and we went to the Zone Colonial. We
Uh-huh.
rented this villa. It was like a big townhouse. And the trip was kind of a bust for a bunch of different reasons. But I was so bored one day that I went to because Christopher Columbus, he didn't fuck up, but his son did. Christopher Columbus's son was the one that was like he killed all the Indians and he brought in
That was
booze
Chet
and,
Columbus.
yeah,
Right?
yeah, exactly. Chet Hayes. Yeah, like Tom Hanks' son. Yeah, exactly. But it was wild is they actually had the armor from the conquistadors like in this museum, and those Spanish guys were like 4'9". They were tiny little Spanish men. They looked like boys.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I saw one of them in the steam room at Crunch about 9 years ago. Boy, was he crying.
Right.
Jesus, you got your $20, you little fruit.
Yeah.
You know. Anyway, so when was your first gay experience? Let's get some pride going on.
Wow. Yeah, it is Pride Month.
It's Pride
yeah.
Month.
Brian got us gay shirts.
Yeah, we're wearing gay shirts.
Yeah.
From Target.
I'm not, but
And
No, every shirt you're
mean,
wearing. It's a
Dave
pretty.
but I
kind
am a
of-
gay.
Dave came gay.
I came
Yeah.
gay.
He came out
Hey,
gay.
Dave, I'll be honest with you. Of our 3 shirts, yours is the gayest.
Yeah. He came.
Yeah.
Dave came out as gayer.
Gayer.
Yeah.
Dave, if I may say, if I could have any kind of body, I would have your kind of body. It's
Oh,
a
thank
very
you.
nice
Right?
body.
God,
It's
I
really,
appreciate
yeah.
that.
It's like muscular and yet thin.
Sure.
Get over here. I'm gonna put a baby in you.
Oh my God.
Oh,
Yikes.
Cut that part out.
You'd
Or
have
not.
beautiful,
Yeah.
a beautiful baby.
All right. I've had a vasectomy, unfortunately, but don't
well.
worry. I'll push real hard. I'll push through the vasectomy.
Against all odds.
Yeah, I'll just,
Nature
look,
and
it's like hot wiring a
Make it-
fucking car.
science.
Making the impossible happen.
Yes,
They get this
exactly.
train of
We'll
pregnant.
dream the impossible. Wait, he's on my train. Derek, don't worry, honey.
Okay. He's an A trainer, not
Yeah,
your
A
trainer.
trainer,
Yeah,
right,
exactly.
Trainer.
You're my
Yeah.
yellow metal, and I think you know what I mean. He's Chinese.
Yes.
Anyway,
Oh, okay.
so your first gay experience.
First gay experience.
Please.
So let me see.
Consensual. Don't make this
Yeah.
weird.
Oh,
Right.
All right.
Never.
Thank you.
Let me see. Okay. First gay experience was definitely when I was in 7th grade. So
Okay.
I was roughly
Ooh, young.
That's
13
about right.
going on
Is it?
14.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
13 going on. Oh, I forget that 7th grade is 13. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
so
not
like
that young.
13,
I was thinking
14.
7th was like 11 years
Oh
old.
my.
No,
I mean,
in the fan fiction you read, it is.
But I
Yeah.
feel like so many the gays I know, like, maybe came of age a little later. Like we
Well-
were having our first hetero experiences around that time, but
yeah.
a lot of the like gays I knew it was more like maybe 20s or late teens.
So here's the thing with that. So when this all occurred,
Yes.
I was actually in boarding school in
Okay.
Vermont.
That's where you do it. That's where it happens.
I was so far from home.
Oh my God.
Wasn't anybody gonna say anything except for maybe the house parents that were in charge
Holy
of taking care of us that
moly.
could have caught us.
So let's back it up. So you're 13, 7th grade. You're
Yes.
for some reason you're at a boarding school in Vermont.
Mhm.
Why were you up there?
my
I mean-
mom just felt the need to send me away for
Okay.
the 2 years.
As moms
you know,
will,
just
you know,
well,
mostly
mostly
do.
well, the way it was described to me, it was to like kind of protect me or keep me away from my dad.
Okay.
Because he was at that time, which I agree, he was saying things that
Mhm.
you probably shouldn't tell a 12-year-old or 11-year-old.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah.
Were there, and I don't mean to like pry too much, but
Yeah.
was there substance abuse with your dad?
Not in front of me, no.
Okay. So he was just inappropriate.
He was
Like
a wild boy.
he just
yeah.
did
and
he
just
did-
not taking the job
parenting.
like,
Okay,
not
seriously?
not taking it
Okay.
serious.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I got
I
you.
feel like that's how my mom would describe it.
Okay.
Gotcha.
All right. So you were 13, 14, but I mean, you obviously were attracted to, other boys your whole childhood. Or,
Did you know?
So that was always an interesting thing because I was performing the act. However,
Okay. Hold on for 1 second.
Oh.
When you say performing the acts,
Whoa.
are we talking about the first time in Vermont? Are we pre-gaming in Queens?
everything happened in Vermont.
Yeah,
Okay.
it all
It started
stays in Vermont.
So you're in Vermont. Boy, wait, if you're ever in Burlington, there's a coat factory there. It's unbelievable.
To-
so
to die
nice.
for.
Oh my gosh, so great. Yeah. Most of the down comforters have. Oh fuck that. Who cares? Anyway, I fucked that up. So anyway, so you're in this boarding school in Vermont, and you were with another boy. And what did he look like? Like, did you have a type then that you still have now?
Which one?
Oh boy. Okay.
Oh wow, you made your way around the boarding. He was popular at the boarding school.
In the house.
yeah.
Well, at least in the house.
Holy
So how did it start? Give us the first one.
moly!
Okay, so the
Please.
first one ever
Uh-huh.
was, and oddly enough, I'll never forget that one.
No, you never do.
He came into my room. I believe it was to wake me up because by then, like our house parent on a Saturday, it was on a Saturday. We wouldn't have breakfast at the school, so our house parents would then have to make breakfast for us.
How many kids were in the house?
I want to say maybe 10.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a very small school, like no more than 100 students.
Okay.
Yeah, and my house, was for the upper class boys,
Okay.
upperclassmen boys. So like 7th and 8th grade and above.
Okay.
Well, that's all we had.
Okay. It wasn't high school.
No.
Okay.
No, it was all middle school.
Kindergarten to 9th or 8th or whatever. Kindergarten to 8th.
Yes.
Okay, I see.
yes.
So you're with the 7th and 8th. So 12, 13, 14-year-olds.
Correct.
Okay. Gotcha.
And yeah, so he came into my room to wake me up
In the morning.
In the morning.
Okay.
Like approaching the afternoon. And
Wow.
yeah, we just started grinding on each other
Okay.
somehow.
Wow.
Did he
and-
climb into bed with you?
No, we played out off the bed.
Okay.
Yeah, and I just jerked him off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow,
But did you
went
know how
straight
to-
for the?
You knew how to do that? I mean, like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I did
Okay.
because, and that was also like one of those instances where that's where I learned to do that.
Right.
So like,
Yeah.
so I learned how to masturbate in that school. I learned
Mhm.
how to shave in
Holy
that school.
shit. Quite the finishing school.
You know, it's funny. My father.
Oh my
yeah,
God.
it's funny, my
People were
father.
definitely finishing.
Yeah. Thank you. My
Wow.
father, yeah, it was weird. My
Check
dad
the
never,
duvet.
yeah, my dad never told me how to shave, but he told me how to masturbate. God bless
Yeah.
him. It was
Look at
good.
that.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
that's
He
amazing.
said, "Use two
Important
hands, you
skill.
little weirdo."
Important.
Yeah.
Right.
Important skills.
It really was.
Oh my God. So you came in was like, hey,
Yeah, and then like
Hey.
it was just like one
and
thing
then
led to the other.
somehow maybe you had like some morning wood, or I'm just like, I don't know
He
why
did.
I'm
Somebody
He did.
I don't
We
know why
both
I'm hung
did.
up on the logistics of like
No,
how this
yeah.
but
Put yourself in there.
yeah, but it's just interesting to be like, how's that happen?
And yeah,
But I guess if you're like
just
gay
happened.
and becoming men,
Yes.
Yeah.
that that's really all you need to know.
So once we, for lack of a better term, pop your cherry.
yes.
Then were you off to the races? Like, how do we?
So-
Did you become the jerk off guy? Go ahead.
Well,
Go ahead.
so with that particular individual, the jerking off was brief because then we quickly graduated to oral.
got you.
Not on
As-
that same day,
as seventh
Mm.
graders
as
do.
7th graders do.
Right.
Exactly.
You think these house parents were like, your pancakes are getting cold? You're like, oh, don't worry. We'll have our sausage first.
Yeah.
Well, so they claim to have been able to hear everything like, through
Holy
the ceilings.
shit.
So chances are they probably knew
This
what
is
was happening.
crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to figure. Are you about how old are you?
I'm 34.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you're a little younger. Because I'm just thinking like, I don't know. I'm in my 40s. Like I'm trying to think of like kids would have been open. I don't think kids even in my time would have been open about
Look,
like
I don't think in 2025, I think if you're
real. Yeah,
know,
I don't.
but-
I have no like.
Yeah. Okay.
Concept of like
So-
if homophobia or anything like that
Yeah,
amongst
I think
seventh
it's-
graders.
I-
I mean, I know the ones I.
so you're now to the Adam. I'm trying to keep this hard on going. Can you break it?
I'm talking about.
All right. So can you? So now you move on to oral.
Yes.
Okay, and then like, at what point did you open the circle up to other players in your?
Oh. I mean, in my house alone, let me see. There was, I'd say there was like maybe
Marcus.
3 or 4
Okay.
other guys
Okay.
that I played with.
Okay.
One of them, actually, one of them, I believe we were kind of moving up a little faster than the others.
Yeah.
Like I think he wanted to have full on sex
Okay.
because
Yeah.
like he like when I started blowing him, he was like, "Hey, so do you want to stay over in my room tonight?"
Yikes. You're like, whoa, this is moving kind of fast.
I didn't mind it.
No, you didn't.
Okay.
Like,
Wow. Oh,
he
you're
had a
sweet.
nice,
You're sweet.
he had a nice dick. If you're watching this,
Okay.
it was nice.
There you go.
Mhm.
And was this another New York boy? Is this a Vermont
No,
boy?
he was a New Hampshire boy.
New Hampshire boy.
And the
Oh
other
my
one was also a New
God.
Hampshire boy.
Oh, my cock is hot for you. Wicked
wait,
hot.
and the other one was also. So I think all three of them were. Oh wait, no, there was four of them. So two
Wow.
Vermont, two New Hampshire.
Okay.
Now, do you? I mean, you might not know, but do you suppose everybody was kind of like getting it on with each other? Or do you think you were just like real popular?
It could have been me.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now-
were these? Can I ask? Were these white kids?
Yeah.
Yeah, Vermont, New
Okay.
Hampshire. Gee, I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, I assumed,
No,
but
yeah.
I'm wondering if
you
maybe
were probably
like,
the darkest guy for like miles and miles. I mean, honestly.
I was honestly one of, I would say maybe no more than 5 or 6 like color
Got
brown
you.
people.
And the other guys
Right.
were the other guys were Portuguese.
right?
Yeah, Portuguese.
Yeah.
Portuguese.
Portuguese, New
See?
Bedford, Portuguese.
Interesting. I'm just
Yeah.
trying to kind of paint a picture for later.
Yeah, sure,
Of course.
And then in my house
why
at
wait?
the time, it was just myself and one other. So we were the
Okay.
only two black brown people. In the house.
Gotcha. Ethnics.
Ethnics. Exactly.
I don't know. Why.
Okay, so then, so the kid that wanted you to stay in his room, did you end up topping for him or bottoming for him, or
Well, so we did ask our house parent if
Where's
because
the- where's the Crisco?
For a Ziploc bag and
well,
yeah,
no,
and some
just
Crisco?
permission to at least so we can like have permission
Spend
to stay
the night
right
in.
because
Got
it was
you.
always one of those like
Oh
no,
my
you stay in your
God.
own room, and
Yeah.
if you want to have like
Holy
sleepovers,
shit.
you ask us.
so hold on for 1 second.
Yeah.
There's
Oh
10
my god.
there's 10 kids in this house. You guys all had your own, each one had your own room. You weren't in like a dormitory style.
There were some of them. So you did have larger bedrooms that would have like up to 2 people in a room.
Sure.
That individual, he had a single bedroom because there
Okay.
were let me see,
Oh.
1, 2, about 2 or 3 single bedrooms in the house, and those were usually reserved for either kids with seniority or kids that were particularly troubled,
Okay.
right? That kind of needed that alone
Distance
space. Yeah.
from the other kids.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, all right. So you had to go to these house parents and say, the kid's like, hey, even though I'm a bit of a biter, I want to have this Queens kid over for the night.
Yeah.
We're working on a jigsaw puzzle, and
Right.
some of the pieces are in my
Yeah.
butt.
They're
Yeah,
deep inside.
he's gonna
Deep in-
fish him
yeah,
out.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
So, did the parents say? Did they acquiesce to that?
Oh,
They
he
say,
said no.
"Oh, okay."
He's like, not today.
He knew.
And it was like closer to the end of the year too.
Yeah.
So he's like,
I wonder if he
we're not.
had an
I
idea.
think he did because I
That's
I
wild.
also believe I think he walked in
Okay.
and like I tried
Interesting.
hiding behind the door. which
Yeah.
wasn't gonna do much.
no.
And
Right.
so, yeah.
Nude? Were you in the nude?
No.
No.
Partially.
like,
okay.
He pulled up his pants.
Just quick
like,
pull 'em
really
up.
quick.
Gotcha,
But then,
okay.
like you can see like when someone's
Yeah.
like
Also, when there's like a 7th grader hiding behind the door, you kind of automatically think something must have been going on.
you can sense an extra
Yeah.
body in
Or
the
they
room.
weren't.
Or it's my birthday.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Now,
Jeez, Louise.
and now the way. Okay, so for example, the way that you like present now,
Yes.
like you're not effete, but you could, I could, like, if I didn't know you were gay and I met you, I'd be like, he's probably gay.
Yeah.
So when you were 13, 14, did you feel any pressure to sort of butch it up, or were you just like you are now?
Definitely lots of pressure.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
also being a Dominican Puerto
Uh-huh.
Rican from New York,
Mhm.
you know, there were things that kind of kept me in the closet, right? So even though I was out in Vermont sucking dick and jerking
Okay.
guys off,
Yeah.
you know, deep down I was still in denial, and I was also rejecting it myself.
Got you.
Like,
You were
personally
tamping it down.
Yeah, like just constantly, no, I'm not gay. I'm not
Right.
gay.
Oh,
And
really? Wow.
yeah.
Okay. Because I would have thought you would just be like out and loud and proud.
I wish.
Now-
Interesting.
Are you Gold Star?
I'm more than that. I'm platinum.
What is?
Ooh.
I've never even kissed.
I
a
was-
girl.
Cesarean?
I was a cesarean.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what
He's
that
never
means?
even passed through a vagina. Yeah.
Mhm.
Wow.
I learned that recently. That's hilarious, right? That's
Yeah.
another tier. He's
Man.
platinum.
Yeah.
That's
Wow,
like-
but so you didn't have like a stage where you were in denial and had like a girlfriend.
I did.
Oh, but you guys
At the
didn't
school,
do anything.
at the school.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
So while I'm blowing
was-
guys,
Was her
It
name
was-
John?
But it was merely a facade.
I feel like I was maybe into
Did
her.
you smooch her?
We did.
You were-
Yeah, we kissed.
Okay,
And,
all
you know,
right.
I
You didn't go anywhere.
did a little diddle here.
Ooh, okay, all right, all
this
right.
is,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to downgrade you from platinum. I don't know.
Yeah, does it count?
I guess if you never actually
'Cause, like,
fornicated,
Like I
if there
didn't
was
put
no,
anything else but
All
a
right.
finger in there.
Yeah.
Like my tongue
I
didn't
feel like-
touch it.
I knew a guy at a drag
Yeah.
brunch that did that once.
Yeah, I'm straight and my tongue doesn't touch.
See?
But I will say, and also it does depend on the finger and were your nails clipped and were you wearing a ring? There are different things here.
Were
it's-
you gloved up? Did you
Yeah.
scrub in?
If it's like a pinky finger with like a little like cute little like My Little Pony like charm bracelet, or
Yeah.
something, that's pretty gay. There's different gay ways to finger
Yeah.
somebody.
Many.
Yeah. There really are. So, at what time now in your personal life?
Mhm.
Now, again, it sounds tacky, but just indulge me, please.
Yeah.
Top, bottom, versatile,
Verse.
verse. That's-
Oh, so this was one of those
Go
things
ahead.
as well that like
Go ahead.
because like I just immediately attract bottoms.
Sure.
And that's the thing too, is that like many gays here in New York would then say that there are hardly any tops in
Yes.
the city. So like the top
Really?
to bottom
Is a
ratio
a
is
top shortage?
crazy, yeah.
Oh wow,
But I don't know.
Brian, we gotta get out there like they used to do with public school teachers years ago. Like they would give anybody a job just if you had a like. We
Have
got to
you-
get out there and do some topping.
We've got to do some
Have you-
topping.
We
You know,
got to
we
get
had-
some wigs.
Have you had Daddy? You know who Daddy DeMarco is? Does that ring a bell with you? No.
I'm not no.
Yeah, he's done the
No.
show. He is
We'll
kind
show
of
you a clip
he's
later.
an Instagram social media influencer, and he is he's an aggressive power top.
Oh.
Yes, and he will break your hips.
Oh my gosh.
And he's
It'll
he's
also
a
give you a gentle massage.
yeah, he's an African American gentleman who grew up in Hell's Kitchen, and he's the sweetest guy in the world, but he's very aggressive sexually, and he gets it whether you want to give it to him or not.
Oh,
So
oh my.
yeah, Daddy will.
Whether you
Yeah,
want to.
I think you're I don't know how I think the verse part might throw him off, although he'll fuck the top out of you. Don't worry, trust
Sure.
me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
He'll leave that top wet on top of a clothespin.
Look, I've been waiting for that moment to happen.
You know what?
Right, to
Like-
meet someone special.
Hey Siri, call Daddy. But anyway, so when did you first experience? So now we've established Vermont.
Yes.
Oh gosh.
Oh God,
She
don't
heard
call.
you.
Oh, sorry.
No, she's calling, but Serena's dad is
Oh.
what it was called.
Oh, he's a power bottom. That's
Yeah. Oh, that queen.
that queen.
Ugh.
Yeah. So at what time did you first experience the joys of male, sex play anally?
Like anal.
Yes.
So like as losing virginity, I was 22.
Wow.
Okay.
Long time.
I was 22 because for like all of high school, I was in that mindset of I'm not gay.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
and
you weren't not
Did you
gay
have
and,
like a plan? Were you like, I'm gonna, I don't know,
like wait this out?
no, it was
Like
just
a
like
storm, like a
or
hurricane
is
of
it gonna-
gayness?
yeah, I'm just wondering like what the rationale would be.
I think for me it felt more like survival,
Got you.
right? Because like in certain circles you hear certain things, the way people speak, the way
Mhm.
certain
Yeah.
words.
Yeah, of
So
course.
like even recently, getting my mom to stop saying maricon, which is like
is that
faggot.
a derogatory?
It's
Okay.
like saying faggot.
You don't know maricon?
I don't know maricon. I know
Oh,
Bati
wow.
boy.
Well, that's,
which is also like that.
Yes, right.
So like
But I don't-
maricon is
But it
like-
also sounds adorable.
right.
So
maricon is essentially faggot in Spanish.
okay.
And so like for instance, my mom, like she would drive and she'd be like, "Oh, the maricon." I'm like,
Gotcha.
"Hey, stop using
Can you
that
please? Yeah. It's good to know people have been calling me all these years.
yeah. Now you know.
Yeah.
Mhm, right.
That's what
word."
it
You're
was.
like,
That's what that meant.
I thought it was
As
that
I
French.
sashayed down the
Yeah,
boulevard.
I thought it was that cookie with coconut. That's a macaroon. That's a macaroon. Not a mac. It's a macaroon, not a maricon.
I'm more of a
Maricon,
pecan
macaroon.
sandy.
Uh-huh.
Ooh, that'd be a good drag name.
God, now
Pecan
it's-
sandy.
Probably is. Everything's
I'm
already.
sure
have
it
to be.
is.
I would
I'm sure
hope
it is.
so.
Yeah.
Everything's already a drag name.
Right.
And so anyway, so you're 22 years old,
Mhm.
and were you on a date with like? Because I know you probably done some rimming and some fingering. Like you
Yeah.
probably fooled around back there, but like,
Yeah.
When did you literally take the plunge?
It was at 22.
Okay.
And I was starting to go out into the nightlife on my own, because
Mhm.
like it was always before 22. I would always drag I call her my sister. I have like my own chosen family,
Sure.
my best friends,
Sure,
that I
sure.
consider siblings.
Uh-huh.
And so one of my sisters, she would go with me to one of the bars and just indulge me. And
Nice little wing woman.
exactly.
Now, was this an actual cis woman, or is this like
She is a cis woman.
Okay, I see.
Cis
Okay.
woman, cis sister.
okay?
She's my
Okay.
cis
Sis-
sister.
Sometimes
Sister.
gay, you can go my sister.
Yeah,
like
right,
that kind of
right.
thing. Okay, I see.
Girl.
Yeah, all of my I have there are 4 of them. All 4 are cis.
Okay.
Cis. And then
Are they
one,
cute?
I think so.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
I think so.
All
I mean,
right.
I haven't looked at them like that.
Yeah.
ever.
It's tricky. You know,
Wow.
that's interesting because I've had a lot of like gay guys try to set me up with women, and usually they're not as honest. I feel like it's always like, oh, she's the best, and you're like, oh no. You realize like, oh, gay men look at women differently, so
Right.
they're just like you're like looking at their aura or whatever,
Yeah, the personality.
right? But that was very honest. He's
Yeah.
like, I
Yeah.
think I don't know.
And
Yeah.
girls don't have
Yeah.
personalities. Okay. How dare you? How dare you? No. Anyway, so you're 22
Yes.
and you're with your girlfriend.
Yes.
Wing-
And so
okay.
well, and with that one night,
And hold for 1 second. At this point, you're out with your family? You're out with your mom?
still no.
Oh, no kidding. Okay.
Still
Wow.
no.
Okay.
So that didn't happen for another year or so.
Okay.
Yeah. So like I was fully out by 23.
Okay.
But it was because of those going out on my own
Right.
experiences and making my own friends at those bars,
Right.
and starting to build up a friendship with
Sure.
other gays.
Gotcha.
Because I didn't have gay friends before.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, you
And-
can kind of cross-reference, get everybody, because everybody has a story
Exactly.
of
And how did
trying
you-
to come out.
How did you meet this family? Like, did you go out by yourself alone and then sort of pick them up along the way, or were these other people that were closeted, like in Queens? Like, do you understand the question?
Yeah, I
okay.
do.
Okay,
We actually all went to high school together.
there you go.
Okay, so
Yes.
these were high school friends.
Yes.
Okay.
So
Okay.
like my brother met him first day. One of my sisters met her in art class like a semester later.
Yeah.
The sister that I'm closest with, we actually started talking and becoming friends after high school, and like hanging out more because of my other sister.
Yeah.
And so like after that, we were like, wait a minute. I
Right.
fuck with you.
Yeah.
You're actually hilarious.
Sure.
You,
Right.
like, yeah, you're awesome.
So you're 22
Mm.
and you're on a just hook.
I was out.
You're out.
Just
Just
out
out.
and about.
out and about.
Yeah.
And I just bumped into some guy.
Literally.
We
Thank
we
you.
connected
Uh-huh.
and went back to his place.
Right.
Which, funny enough, I remember texting my sister that same day. I was like, "Hey, I'm in your building right now."
Oh,
That's fun.
nice.
That's fun.
I was like, "I'm on the opposite end of your building."
Were you
Just
on the
FYI,
bottom floor or the top floor that night? Well, you can tell it. Which
top floor.
you started
Ooh,
off top.
penthouse.
Well, we tried bottom, and I was like, no,
Mm.
I don't.
Not
like
into
this. Not now.
Sure.
Right.
No longer receiving.
I think
Yeah.
I think every bottom you start off topping. I
Probably.
I think
oh,
it's,
really?
yeah, I think it's something that unless you're just
Where you
full on,
dive on in,
unless you are
just
like
gaping.
platinum, unless you're like
I
a black
feel
card,
like I've known a few of those.
unless you're like a
Yeah.
black card that has a black card, you're like,
Yeah.
I'm born this way to care
Mm-hmm.
of Lady Gaga. So all right, so that was 22.
Yes.
And then from there, and then like when you came out to your mom, was she like, I know? Was it that kind of thing?
It was okay. So that was actually a very interesting moment because at that time I had already had I had my friends, I had my friend
Mm-hmm.
group, and I was house/dog sitting for a friend of mine as he was going to Thailand with his husband. And
Wow, this is all very gay.
well,
I can understand.
Thailand
Right.
husband.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. Swati club.
Mm.
And my mom, at some point, like when I mentioned the husband, she was like, I noticed you have a lot of gay friends now. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, so
Yeah.
then
Homophobe much?
Well,
Were you and your mother very close? Are you very close?
we're close.
Okay.
Yeah, we're close. And she's always been very open about almost everything.
Right, but over the years, like did you confide in her? Like over the year, did she have any inclination that maybe you were gay? You know what I mean? Like, would you say things to her? Like, so this wasn't a total shock to her. You don't think?
I don't think so
With the gay
entirely.
friends. Okay,
I don't think so entirely.
So sorry, I interrupted. So she
No,
said,
no, you're good.
You had gay friends.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, so because what prompted that was that apparently someone, we still don't know who to this day or whom, went to my grandmother and told her that they saw me making out with a guy outside of the club.
To your grandmama.
Someone told my grandmother.
Jesus.
I like
Crazy.
till this day we still do not know who or whom.
Right.
And so like that kind of got my mom starting to question.
Yeah.
And by the way, was this something that somebody could have seen? Was there like, do you think that somebody was just trying to fuck with you, or did somebody actually see you making out with somebody?
Do you think you would have been making out with somebody outside of a club?
Outside of the club, no.
Okay.
So this could have been just like a take his temperature kind of.
Probably.
You know what I mean?
Or
like,
they were in the club.
Like during a police interrogation where they tell you that they know you. We found your DNA.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, no, because like I don't think my mom would have brought up my grandmother, you know, like she would have said that someone would have told her, yes, my grandmother, which, you know, like everyone, my family has been really great about that. Like, I would say that I'm not going to say I had no reason to worry about coming out to them.
Yeah.
But I still did because of the things that I would hear, you know, just based on conversations, you know, hearing those maricones and
sure.
know, like one of the big ones was like thinking that being gay / bi meant you have AIDS. That's it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe. Yeah.
Like
the tail end of that, but
like non-negotiable. If you're gay, you have sex with men, you're gay. You have
99% chance.
Yeah. La sida.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know, because I'm 20 years older than you, and it's like I grew up when like AIDS was like, you thought if you were like heterosexual and you were like you made out with a girl and if you had like your lip was cut, you're like, well, there we go.
Yeah.
Just like I'm like Rock Hudson. Yeah. Oh well, there you go.
He was actually fucking guys.
Doris Day and I never really,
Of course.
Hey, have you ever seen Behind the
Bachelor?
Yeah. Have you ever seen Behind the Candelabra? By the way,
I have not.
Okay,
I haven't either.
You guys are kidding
Movie
me.
night.
I've been meaning to though.
I have when I get all my stuff, I have a pretty nice sound system, TV, and everything. So when we come back, I'm having a Behind the Candelabra party. I've hosted a couple of these,
and you have to dress up as your favorite,
favorite Liberace
member. Your favorite era Liberace.
You're watching that, and you're watching Michael Douglas like doing poppers, and he's like it is wild. He's like I had a pump put in my ball so I could always get hard. I'm like, who the fuck wrote this movie?
Dude.
Like it is Rob Lowe plays a plastic surgeon whose eyes go so far up like this. He's like,
I gotta see this. Sounds great.
It's one of the greatest movies I've ever seen. Wow. And I'm not even kidding. It's a phenomenal movie. Because I love Liberace, and I used to love when Liberace he would go on. There's this guy named Merv Griffin, who created like a Wheel of Fortune and stuff, and he was famous for TV production and things. But he also had a talk show. So he had a Merv Griffin who was famously closeted, but like 70s gay when people were gay, but they were all gay and everything but name. You know what I mean? And so he would sit there, and Liberace's name was Lee, and he would go, Lee, you're such a catch. Look at you out there. You always wear the best furs and the most wonderful jewels. When are you going to settle down with a young lady? And Lee would sit there, and he would literally have like a white stole on with like
cigarette,
like sucking like a golden dildo, and he would take it, and he would go, I'm just on the road so much, Merv, that I just can't find the right gal, and I want a girl to be just like my mother. Oh, so goddamn funny.
So great.
Liberace, when he was on early Letterman, was the funniest fucking shit too, because he would like flirt with Letterman, and he'd be like, it was great. I loved Liberace. It's a shame.
My favorite Liberace fact. Do you know his thing about toilets? He's like weird about toilets. So Liberace,
my mouth is one.
He's a certain kind of eccentric that for some reason he didn't like to see the sight of toilets.
Sure.
So like in his gaudy mansions or whatever, all the toilets were like recessed, like they would like go into the wall, like they had like weird mechanical. Yeah, so it's a little bit like the gay Jetsons.
Okay,
Oh.
there's one more thing behind the
Like a
candelabra.
compartment.
There's one scene behind the candelabra where actually Liberace's on the toilet and Matt Damon comes into the bathroom. It's the middle of the night and he's sitting on the toilet taking a dump and he's not wearing his toupee. So he looks completely different. And Matt Damon screams. Liberace looks up and he goes, "Oh, I'm not wearing my hair. Sorry."
Oh, that's
I didn't-
fucking great.
Dude, it's such
Oh,
a.
man,
All right.
I gotta watch.
We're
this
doing that.
movie.
We're doing that.
Well, hey, we should go behind the beaded curtain.
Anybody to say hi to, or are we good?
Well, you know, just the normal folks. But let's
right.
talk. We should
Hey,
promote
Yeah, let's do it. We're gonna-
Diana's. We didn't talk about your drag.
Can you stick around?
career.
You have another 40 minutes, half an hour or so?
time.
Okay, good. Make sure. So everybody
a little.
listen, we're going to go over to the Patreon and the YouTube show. So everybody, thank you for being with us here. And where can we find Diane here? Diamond?
Diana Diamond
Diana
NYC on Instagram, and
Yeah.
I am also on YouTube, Diana Diamond NYC as well.
Cool.
Yes,
and that's in the title, so you can just you can see the spelling, standard spelling.
I subscribe to the channel. I haven't checked the
Mhm.
content out yet, but I
Yeah,
wanna-
we didn't talk about drag at all. Maybe we'll talk
We'll
about
get-
drag
yeah,
behind
yeah,
that.
we'll get over there. And everybody, I don't know. That's it. So thank you for watching, listening. Keep in there. And if you're on the
Yeah.
Patreon, if you're on the YouTube, we'll see you like in a minute or so.
If you want to become a member real quick, you
Yeah.
can watch the live stream as it happens.
That's right.
And it gets dirty behind the beaded
Oh,
curtain.
man, you watch
so-
these matacones get weird. Oh
Yeah.
shit! Sorry,
How
not
about-
my
what
word.
If we
Not my
chose
word.
it to, what if we change it to mariposa?
Is that
Oh,
men-
right?
Is that like
It's like
menopause?
a butterfly.
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 Oh,
Because that's like only subtly homophobic,
Yes.
you know, but it kind of. I thought that's what you said at first. I was like mariposa. Oh, that's
Yeah.
kind of cute.
sounds like
It
menopause.
is, right? It
That's
does.
the
Yeah.
word. I hear that word a lot in my house these days.
I feel like
but
it's a nice compromise.
It is menopause.
Menopause.
Let me eat your pussy.
That's Latin,
Yeah.
Spanish menopause.
Let me eat your
Menopause.
gray pussy lips.
Yeah.
Chew on your gray pussy lips.
Yeah.
Okay, goodbye, everybody.
we'll
We'll see you in
see
a
ya.
minute. Okay.